What's up guys, Noah Orquezi here, and today I'm going to be showing you how the LA Rams should have redesigned their jerseys. The Rams had a golden opportunity when it came to redesigning their uniform. They had a chance to put out some of the best uniforms in the NFL. Everybody loves their throwback uniform, their colors, and there were several different ways they could have gone about a redesign and produced really great uniforms. However, they seemingly overthought the whole design process and maybe tried to go a little too LA with some of their design choices when keeping things simpler would have been the better choice. But I'm going to be talking about some things that they could do to make this uniform a lot better than it is now. I waited the full season to see this uniform in action before I made this video, just in case on the field it looked a little better or it changed my mind, and some things were a little different on the field, but for the most part, the ideas and thoughts I had before the season when this uniform first came out still hold up after the season. I got to give them credit for trying something new. They did a lot of different things that other NFL teams haven't done, so I give a round of applause for that. The Falcons did something similar with their gradient uniform, and we all know how that went down as well. So going bold and going where someone hasn't gone before isn't always the best decision. When it's pulled off like the Seahawks did all those years ago, it works and it looks great. But in this case, they fell flat a little bit. So I'm going to be over here in Photoshop and I have a blank Rams uniform kind of set up, and I'm going to be adding to it and showing you how this design could be improved. Now this mockup template is from my website templatefc.com, where I sell mockup templates if you're interested in making your own. You can actually use a free website called Photopea to do this too if you don't have Photoshop. So I'm actually going to bring up the first thing, and that is the helmet. So if I bring up their helmet design here, I think this helmet design is really good. I like the new horns. It looks like more modern, but it still has that Rams identity. Overall, I like the reflective helmet, the all blue helmet with the blue face mask. It looks good, but overall the helmet is great. I don't think they should change that. Now, if we get into the shirt here a little bit, you'll notice my design here is much different from what they actually have. So the Rams currently have the most ridiculous gradient on their numbers that I think I've ever seen. I guess it's supposed to mean the transition from their old white look to the yellow look, or that's what I've been told. It seems utterly pointless and it looks really bad. Just solid numbers would work fine. If you wanted to do a gradient, you could do what I did here a little bit and just go from a slightly darker yellow to a lighter yellow. And I think that works. It's pretty simple. It doesn't stand out. But it looks good, so that would be my suggestion for that. Also, the number font is a little, I don't know, I don't want to say it's bad because it works. The stylized outlines look pretty okay. I'm fine with it, but I think the number font could be a little better. I like this one I chose here. I don't actually remember if this is from a team or if this is just a font I found, but I like the roundness of this one as opposed to the one they currently are using. And I can't really say why the one they're using now is bad, but I just personally think it could be better, I guess. So it's not one of their worst features, but it could be improved upon. But the gradients on the numbers, and that gradient also is on the blue pants, is just awful. That should not be there. They should get rid of that as soon as they can. The next horrible element is the patch on their jersey. So I went with just the Rams text on the front because I think this Rams text logo looks pretty good. I like having a little bit of white in this uniform since it's predominantly blue and yellow. So you add a little white to the name on the chest, center it, put it in the middle, and then you have a white name on the back, which I think are your white elements for that jersey. The patch they use just looks like an employee badge or a sponsor on an NBA jersey, and the font is really just boring. And I don't know, it's just a really bad design element. I'm not a fan of it, and I thought it would grow on me over the season. That was the one element I was looking at. I was like, okay, that might grow on me by the end of the season because it is fairly unique, but it didn't, and it was a bad decision. And on the bone jersey, it's white instead of the bone color and just stands out so much. It just does not work at all. Speaking of the bone jersey, I think that's a great idea for an alternate away, but you still need a white jersey, and it just looks so bad in comparison to white, especially since they have some white elements on it, like the pants stripe, the patch, and those elements pop so much more and make the rest of the jersey look like dirty and just kind of gnarly looking. If everything was bone colored and it was an alternate, I would probably really like this uniform, but it's their main away. They wear those pants sometimes with the home, and I'm just not thinking the bone colored jersey was the right decision for the away. Again, it was like a risk. It was pretty interesting to do something the team hasn't done before. But for me, they didn't pull it off and it does not work. Also, the pant stripe for those should be blue instead of yellow and white, because the yellow and white, you barely see it. And when you do see the white, it makes the rest of the pants look dirty, like I mentioned before. But a blue stripe would have stood out more and also matched both jerseys a little better, in my opinion. You could also include some yellow in there, but I think you need blue in there somewhere. And you can see the pant stripe I had for them was just a simple straight down stripe. It's actually broken up slightly down here. I don't know if you can see that. I'll include a side view afterwards, but it basically breaks it up to mimic the break in the horns that they have, like right here on the shoulder. You can see this ram horn has the line through it, the break, and I included that on the pant stripe, and that would be like the most extreme element on the pant stripe. Other than that, it's a simple pant stripe. You don't have to include a gradient or anything else. Their pant stripes aren't awful on their current sets, but they could be better. My second biggest problem with these uniforms are the inconsistent horns on the jersey. So the home jersey has like normal horns with just the Nike swoosh, and that's it. And then for the bone jersey, they seemingly wanted to include the numbers there. So they changed the horn so it was just a little thin sliver, added the numbers and had the swoosh there. And you can see here on my home, I just added the numbers or the TV numbers to the shoulders. I mean, I don't think it changes the design too much. Still looks pretty good. I know historically they've always had the number in the horns, but since Nike wants to put their logo there, you could just move it to the shoulders. I don't think it's a big deal unless Nike agrees to move the swoosh to the chest like they do for their college teams. I think just move the numbers to the shoulders or don't have them. You don't really need them. On their home jersey currently, they don't have them. So why do you need them on the away? I'm not sure why they did it. I'm sure there's a reason for it, but I just feel like those inconsistencies are weird and just are an unnecessary problem that you made for yourself. Finally, this was a point that I probably would not have brought up last year, but seeing the Cleveland Browns come out with their redesign / throwback, I guess, and seeing sock stripes again, I was just like, man, more teams need sock stripes. There's too many plain socks. So I think the Rams should kick it back to their old school 2-stripe socks, which I think are a great look. It's pretty simple. It's not too crazy. It's nothing that'll stand out, but I think it will complement the design a lot and really look good on both jerseys. And the 2 stripes seemingly fits the break in the horn. And that's about it for me on the Rams' new uniforms. They really could have done a lot better. I'm disappointed in what they produced, especially when you compare it to what the Chargers did and how they crushed it. So hopefully next time around they fix some of these problems, keep some of these good elements, and let's see what they do. I know they have a yellow jersey coming out shortly, so hopefully that's a little better than what they have now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe to my channel for more jersey related videos. I have a college football redesign series going on. Hopefully I'll be covering some other sports. Be sure to follow me on Twitter @Quezzy and follow my Instagram, that's Quezzy. I post jersey related designs there all the time. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.